So it's hard to say what's the bigger surprise in Miami right now. The fact that there are actually this many people in Miami who care about baseball, or the fact that it's been Derek Jeter, the prince of baseball, who has gotten them this angry. We haven't seen Miami Marlins fans this passionate or this concerned about baseball since, well, ever. They've just never supported the team in this kind of fashion that they've shown over the past month. The anger that they've exerted and the passion that they've shown. The fact that it's been Derek Jeter, who's been baseball royalty for over 2 decades now, who has gotten them this angry is equally a big surprise. Derek Jeter has been nothing but superb on and off the field. He played for the Yankees, won several championships, went through that withering New York media every day without fail seemingly. Even as he phased into retirement and past baseball itself, he's had a raging success with the Players Tribune, has shown himself to be a savvy businessman in that regard. So for the fact that you take Derek Jeter, who's been really a prince of baseball for a long time now, a great ambassador for baseball, and a Miami Marlins fan base that has seemed to be very placid, you put those two together, certainly Major League Baseball did not anticipate the kind of public relations nightmare that they've gotten over the past couple of months. But here we are. That's exactly what we're facing, as Derek Jeter has decided to let go of 3 of their top players and gotten really not a whole lot back in return. That brings us to the first number we'll look at, $335 million. That is the amount of money that the Miami Marlins have pared from their payroll over the next 10 to 12 years in getting rid of D. Gordon and Ozuna and Giancarlo Stanton, of course Stanton being the biggest. They've let go of roughly $335 million on their payroll that they won't have to pay. And that's really been a big sticking point for Marlins fans, is that they seem to have gotten so little back. While they have gotten a handful of prospects back, these have not been the kind of prospects, the kind of minor leaguers that you look forward to seeing over the next 2 or 3 years. It's not the kind of guys who you think you can build a franchise around. It's certainly not the kind of guys that you could expect to see in your Major League stadium anytime soon and leading your team to a World Series like we've seen the Cubs do or the Astros do. So really that's been a huge sticking point for the Marlins to watch their Marlins fans to watch their players leave like this and get so little back. The next number we'll look at is the number 3. There have been 3 fire sales in the Miami Marlins history that their fans have had to go through. In the late 90s, after they won their first World Series, they had a complete teardown, got rid of every star on the team. In the early 2000s, after they once again had won another World Series, Marlins fans have had to endure another teardown of their team. And now, of course, in 2017, they've watched Derek Jeter get rid of 2 or 3 of the best players and to begin to dismantle the team again. So Miami Marlins fans have had to watch all these players leave, and this is now the 3rd time in 3 decades that they've had to watch this happen to their team. And maybe this has produced this next number, or maybe this next number has produced the first 2. 21,000 is the amount of baseball fans on average that come to see a Marlins game, and that has been over the past 25 years. Since their existence, they have averaged 21,000. That has been after each of the fire sales. That's been during Giancarlo Stanton's MVP season. That's been during 2 World Series seasons. And that has been even after they built a brand new stadium. It's been pretty much a deadline, 21,000. It's gotten as low as 10,000, gotten as high as 38,000 in their first season. But once the strike was gone, it has really dipped down to about 20,000. So 21,000 is a really low number of fans to have come through the turnstiles. It is among the lowest and the worst attendance figures, not only in baseball, but in all of the 4 major sports, the North American sports that we have. And really it's a super low number, so you could argue what's producing that. Are these continuous fire sales? Is that producing the 21,000? Or is that super low number of 21,000 fans what's producing the fire sales that these owners are going through? Whatever the reason, it just has not worked out in Miami. One final number to consider, and that's the number 2. 2 is 2 months. That's how long Derek Jeter has actually been here. Now listen, Derek Jeter is a savvy guy. He's a smart guy. He played the game of baseball to a Hall of Fame level. He handled the New York media. He's handled the Players Tribune, developed that very well. You're going to see Derek Jeter get this thing figured out. He'll figure out how to put a good team together. In 4 or 5 seasons, you might even see him have a World Series champion. Maybe 5, 6, 7 seasons, you might have him see a World Series champion on the field. It just depends on how good he is at that. What we don't know is if Miami Marlins fans will ever really care about this team the way they do now, or maybe more than they do now, that 21,000 number has been a really lousy number for them. So we'll keep that in mind. This is Sports Money. I'm Ben Parker. See you next time. Bye.